it all started with the first game.
That was one of the best games of the year.
It felt like a cheat code playing with them. It was just a different level of locked in.
Playoff hockey's back in Vancouver.
I never felt so together with every other person.
It didn't feel real.
That was definitely a special game.
Those worries were silenced pretty early.
And it was just about everywhere you looked, there was a Canucks logo somewhere.
My name is Stuart Turner. I'm 20 years old, and ever since 2010, I've been a die-hard fan of hockey and the Canucks. During my life in hockey, I've created some of my fondest memories, and I've been able to meet people that I can consider my lifelong friends.
Hi, I'm Peter. I'm 19.
I'm Shay, I'm 20.
I'm Cade, I'm 19.
I've been a Canucks fan since really I was born.
This is my 10th year as a Canucks fan.
I would say this is probably going into my 8th year following the team really closely.
Definitely a thing that my family bonded around. We'd go to the Canucks games like very frequently. When I was 9 years old, I got selected to be on the Every Kid's Dream thing, so we've got a pretty sweet photo of me between the Sedins.
My first memories of the Canucks were the glory days back in the early 2010s, when the Sedin twins were scoring highlight reel goals every night, and it seemed like every single year the Canucks were a cup contender. But unfortunately, sort of when I was first becoming a fan of the Canucks, wound up being their peak. And for what feels like the rest of my childhood and even, early teenage years, the Canucks were absolutely horrible.
It was pretty tough. The Sedins were on the tail end of their career when I started watching. They didn't really have much of a prospect pool.
And it really sucks because, when the Canucks are good, it almost feels like a distraction from everything. That's why the run in 2020, although it was quite a fever dream run, was so important to many Canucks fans across the city.
That's when I really started watching every game.
Defensive play there by Tanev, but away goes Horvat again. What a move by Horvat! Scores!
I believed in them. They had a good core put together.
Alex Pietrangelo breaks his stick. Maybe a chance for Bond here. Tyler Bond attacking. Gets past Pietrangelo and scores!
Brought a lot of pride to the city, a lot of unity to the city.
This is the scene on Scott Road in Surrey just a short time ago, which has become the default celebration zone for Canucks fans this playoffs.
Let's be so real, that was so fluky.
It'll be the Vegas Golden Knights and the Dallas Stars in the Western Conference.
Right when we thought we were there, kind of all felt like it was coming crashing down.
The 2020 offseason was just brutal. They lost a lot of guys, weren't replaced.
We had been, going through all these terrible years for so long, it felt like, okay, our waiting's done. Now it's our window, but, the 3 years that followed that were just absolutely horrible.
Another day, another positive test for the Vancouver Canucks. 1 week after the outbreak began.
It was a strange year because 56 games played in the Canadian division. They just got feasted on by McDavid and Matthews. weren't going to make the playoffs that year. Yeah, and then next year didn't get any better.
All right, so Oliver Ekman-Larsson is a member of the Vancouver Canucks now.
We were probably a playoff team, but not enough to go all in. Thanks, Jim Benning.
And this is where people will ask, what is he seeing?
So the 2022-2023 season, I don't think it's crazy to say, is one of the worst in Canucks history, just because everything that went on.
Another setback for the Vancouver Canucks, who fall to 0-5-2.
How much of a shitty position does this put Moose Boudreau in?
This is a joke, dude. It's getting dragged out a little bit for him.
Yeah, he's taking it in right now.
It's a lot better than Vancouver, I'll tell you that for free.
But luckily for us, it sort of felt like things were finally on the up when we hired Rick Tocchet.
But I think Rick Tocchet was obviously massive in the turnaround of the franchise. He's a great hockey mind, engraved kind of this buy-in mentality into all of the players.
Now, the offseason hits, and for me anyways, every single move that we made felt like an absolute out-of-the-park home run.
My biggest concern going into the year was how the defense would turn out. Those worries were silenced pretty early.
Now, Carson Soucy is the only multi-year deal the Canucks have signed, and it is obviously the most important one.
Great skater, has a long stick, and you put him with Tyler Myers, and they were just awesome for the Canucks.
If you want to stabilize your defense, one of the ways to do it is to sign Ian Cole, and the Canucks did this offseason.
And let's go to the third one, Teddy Bluger.
I was a big fan of Teddy Bluger before he came to Vancouver. I thought he was one of the best fourth-line centers in the league. So I was ecstatic to see that he came to Vancouver for under $2 million.
Well, the Canucks have made a trade for a backup goaltender.
Casey DeSmith will now be that backup for Vancouver.
The Toronto Maple Leafs trade Sam Lafferty to the Vancouver Canucks for a 5th-round pick.
I think that they're going to fight for a wild card, but I just think that the division's too strong.
And I don't think they're going to get in. Gee, does your boy make the playoffs this year or what?
No shot.
Once the season finally kicked off, I think it all started with the first game.
First game of the season, we blow out the Oilers.
So there were a few beauties in that game.
He realizes he has some space, hands it off to Pettersson, back to Garland, and what a beautiful goal!
I remember seeing that first goal by Garland and just the beautiful pass by Pettersson.
That looked impossible to me. I don't know how he did that. And they just couldn't stop scoring after that. Brock Besser, what a start for him.
Here's Hronek coming in with a wrist rebound, but the Canucks score! Elias Pettersson, and that puck trickles into the net. Brock Besser, hat trick! There's Hughes with a shot towards the net, and Brock Besser has 4 tonight.
Oh my God. Lighting up Edmonton for 4 goals, just sort of getting a head start on the year was so massive.
You know, Besser had been struggling so much the last few seasons.
Lots of Canucks fans don't know, lots of things were beyond sort of his control. His father passing was hard on him. Just like as a fan of him, just seeing him be able to turn around and silence the haters was huge.
You know, he really believed in himself, but he really set the tone for a good season in that game.
The team as a whole felt a lot lighter.
Here's JT Miller, the wrister, and it's in the net. On the attack again is Sam Lafferty coming in with speed, a pass over to Joshua, and he scores. The Canucks faithful and set to celebrate first victory of the season.
And we came out of the gate so hot.
By Höglander coming in with speed. Lafferty driving to the net. He scores! Makes a move behind the goal. Centers. Pettersson shoots. He scores. What a setup. Changing in the neutral zone as he buys some time. Puck comes in front. Chance for Demko. He scores. Besser dumps one ahead. Hoping Miller can get there first. He does. He scores. Here's Pettersson in the offensive blue line. Touches across. Leads. Soucy. Nice pass. McCann scores. Cole quickly up to DiGiuseppe. In on the left wing. Drop pass. Miller. Wrist shot. Scores.
Demko's staring daggers at the cup. And he was just different level of locked in.
It was so much fun to watch.
Okay, so after making this video, I realized some parts might be a little bit confusing, so just for context, we all work at Rogers Arena. Me, Shane, Kate are popcorn guys, Peter's a retail guy. Anyways, back to the video.
The moment that made me realize anyways that it wasn't just this little hot streak to start the year was the return of Bo Horvat.
Every one of his teammates say great things, and boy, he was a little emotional there. You can see it.
That was one of the best games of the year. I was there for that one.
Now this game, heading in, obviously we knew it was going to be an emotional one.
Bo Horvat was a guy who I got really attached to because in those dark years, he was really one of the young guys to look forward to for the future.
Great captain for the Canucks. All my respect and love for Bo Horvat.
But the game itself, it starts, and then we go down 2-0.
Engvall shoots, scores. Brazil back to Dobson, near side. Nelson checked as he tried to get the shot away, then he scored on his over rebound.
You're just there like, wow, this is not ideal at all. Like, this is a brutal look. And made it even worse when he scored.
For Quinn Hughes, turns away from Holmstrom, banks the puck towards Miller, intercepted by Barzell. Here's Horvat. Bo Horvat, Barzell, Horvat, scores!
The Horvat goal was probably the loudest I heard the arena get for an away team goal in my life.
Looking like it's going to be a gut punch loss for us, but we came back and sent it into overtime.
9 minutes left in the second. Canucks are going to get back within a goal. Which is side to Verona, takes the one-timer, scores!
And during overtime is probably a moment that I'll never forget.
Yeah, I worked the game as a popcorn hawker. Our shift ends, and don't tell my manager, but I went to sit down with my friends because there was an empty seat.
The lower bowl, center ice, back row, you could see everything.
Second and face-offs taken in the lead.
Miller sort of skated up the ice. All three Islanders players jumped forward, and Quinn Hughes made a great read.
Does one little spin pass, and it parted like the Red Sea.
He's taken 26 now. Here's a lead pass.
Up the middle, no one sees him. Snipes it on Ilya Sorokin.
Just the most perfect play shot I think I've ever seen.
Seeing a way to get it done that game was just sort of benchmark game in the season to prove what kind of team we were.
And after that game, we just didn't stop winning.
Hughes cuts across the high slot, now goes wide on Zenderland. Hughes shoots, he scores! And now a steal by Bluger. He's in short-handed. Teddy Bluger, deep, he scores! Goes down to Gibson. Involved with Kuzmenko.
Always talk about the Canucks needing defensemen. Here they go. They acquired Zadorov.
In behind for Elias Pettersson. Wrap around, he scores! Bluger, easy with Oman. Teddy Bluger. Centers, Oman scores! It's for Connor Garland. Goes around the net, wrap around, he scores! Here's Pettersson in. He makes a nice move, stop, gets it over, rebound, takes it in! What a play! Shooter. Across. Nice move by Homelander, he scores! Nails Homelander. Canucks steal the puck back, Pettersson across, and they play a give and go and score! Pettersson to Miller. And here's Rowan to Pettersson, trying to win it in overtime. Elias Pettersson, beats, scores!
Also, if you're wondering why this video took so long to make, here's a video detailing the journey from start to finish.
Along the way, definitely one of the biggest surprises was this third line that just kind of came out of nowhere.
It was Bluger and Garland and Joshua. We were just feasting on those teams.
It felt like a cheat code playing with them.
They were the hardest forechecking line in the Pacific Division, if not the conference and if not the league.
The chemistry there was ridiculous, and it felt like Joshua was scoring every single game.
Garland in, passes, Joshua scores!
They were able to pull us out of just about anything.
On the left wing, Teddy Bluger, across to Dakota Joshua, Garland scores! What a pass, what a play!
There was a stretch there where they were one of the best lines in the entire league.
We could not have asked for a better third line.
And for the next little while, we were a force.
In on the right wing, got Dakota Joshua, there's a pass, tipped up for Joshua,
as the months go by, you're like, we're going to make playoffs. Now, although Joshua ended up getting injured and we had a bit of a dry spell for a little bit afterwards, it was reaffirmed after the midseason trades we ended up making.
5 Vancouver Canucks. That's absolutely deserved and rather incredible.
It became 6 when they swung a deal for Elias Lindholm.
So many check marks for the Vancouver Canucks, right-handed center. There is no other player that was currently on the market that fit the criteria better than Elias Lindholm.
Definitely by the time the trade deadline rolled around, I would say I believed in this group.
Hughes, Carolina again very aggressive with the penalty. Hughes, long wrist shot, tipped in, Lindholm. Back for Hughes. Wrist one, tipped in, Lindholm again. How about this debut? Chauncey Saturday up, scoring your pressure to set up stairs. Moronic with room, slaps on stairs. Here's Miller, shooting, tipped in by Besser. Coronic's under the box. He's got a breakaway, and he scores! Miller giving chase, able to poke it ahead. Now he taps it ahead. Miller's got a breakaway. Short-handed, he scores! Here's Hughes on the far side again. Makes a move, stepping around the travel center, they score!
Demko's staring daggers at the cup from, you know, a million miles away.
But then, you know, it was sort of just a routine game against a good team that you get probably the worst news you could ever imagine.
Decides to move it around himself. A wrister. Rebound is in the net. He puts on the brakes, shoots. Triples in. It's Bluger with DiGiuseppe. The pass in front. DiGiuseppe scores. Into the Canucks zone. Centering pass. And what a fabulous save from Thatcher Demko.
I remember them putting the camera on him and they showed a replay of Demko looking frustrated, and I was like, that's not a good sign.
Not appear to be in discomfort or favoring anything, so we await an update on his condition. We've yet to hear anything from the Canucks, although I expect all we will hear is whether he will return.
I didn't know what happened. I asked about 4 or 5 people in the section, did you see what happened? And no one could articulate properly what happened.
Demko is injured!
And, you know, I'd be lying if I said there wasn't a lot of anxiety that we could just completely crumble and it was going to ruin us.
All I was hoping was like, just be healthy for the playoffs. Be healthy for the playoffs. Be healthy for the playoffs. Be healthy for the playoffs.
But we held our own pretty good.
Joshua centers Miller off the glove, loose puck, they score! Canucks changing while controlling in the Arizona and the ice. Hughes with a shot, missed on the short side. Garland scores! Goes against the grain to McCabe. Billy McCabe across, Pettersson centers! Scores!
Playoff hockey is back in Vancouver. Demko gets cleared to come back, and our first round opponent was going to be the Predators.
Warning, warning, cringy moment incoming. This is a cringe alert. I repeat, this is a cringe alert.
One time for Vancouver City, one time for Thatcher Demko, one time for Connor Garland, and one time for Elias Lindholm.
When we came out on the ice today, it was probably one of the more special things I've been a part of, other than the birth of my children and my wedding. I think I got a different perspective on what hockey means to these people here.
Heading into game 1, what I was thinking about most is what were they going to do for the walkout intro?
I was upstairs, I think I was in section 326. I had a view of everything. U2 starts playing, everybody's got their towel and they're waving their towels.
And all of a sudden, everything goes dark. How could you not get goosebumps from that?
It just felt very nostalgic.
And it felt like it didn't take any time at all for the game to become instantly electric. Now, you know, we do fall down 2-1 heading into the third, but the whole time I knew, like, there's no reason to be anxious right now. But little did I know, as really did anybody else know, what was about to happen next.
The emotions I was just feeling watching that were just like so unreal.
That was a moment that I'll never forget. The crowd was absolutely electric the entire time.
I felt so lucky to be a fan of a playoff team for once.
And you see videos of outside the stadium, Canucks fans going absolutely berserk.
I came out a little later than everyone else. I remember getting to the SkyTrain station and there were still 1 million people. There was people in jerseys. There were jerseys in windows, like there were painted faces. It really brought the city together.
Playoff hockey is officially back in Vancouver.
That was heartbreaking.
Are you kidding me?
It's just such a gut punch.
They just won game 1 of the playoffs. Everything's going well. We go to sleep happy.
But then the next day you wake up to probably the worst possible news ever, and that's Demko's most likely done for the entire playoffs.
Starting goaltender Thatcher Demko won't be on the ice tonight. He's sidelined with an injury.
He really did give us a really strong identity to the team, and I think just the guys were able to play really confidently in front of him, and it was just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, why now? The curse of being a Canucks fan, I guess. Like, nothing can go our way. Like, we don't deserve to have our starting goaltender in the playoffs, I guess.
The question is simple. Can they survive without him long term?
Well, you're not going to like it, but the answer is no. It's impossible to survive if you're the Vancouver Canucks.
You know, when you wake up and see that news, your first thought is, okay, well, that was a good run. You know, 1 game in, we're already done. And especially when we drop game 2, you're really, really anxious.
Series even.
Now, you know, heading into game 3 when we have DeSmith in net, I'm not really hopeful at all.
We were lucky to get good goaltending from DeSmith all year. Thing is, he's never been a starting goalie. I wasn't totally sold on him starting the rest of the playoffs.
Welcome to Nashville, or Smashville as they call it in this building.
Oh yeah, you better believe there are some catfish flying in this house tonight.
That's not an easy barn to play in at all, especially not during playoffs. But luckily we were able to rally around him, take Game 3 home in an absolute nail-biter.
Fires one down to Miller, puts it in front, tipped in. Brian Besser from the crease. And Casey the Smith and the Canucks hang on to win Game
3. Sunday afternoon, early game, and you just know this game is going to be the turning point.
And then I start to see tweets from Jeff Patterson, Rick Dollywall, Elliot Friedman, 3 sources that I trust, and they're all implying that Archer Shilovs could actually start in net.
Yeah, just wild luck to hear that he was hurt as well.
With that put aside, the game started out amazing.
Miller, Susie into the slot, Miller, near side, Besser, scores! Brock Besser, 2:55 into the game.
But then we fall down 3-1, and you're just there like, man, this is tough. After we went down 3-1, that third period was some of the worst hockey I think I've ever watched in my life. And I remember I took a nap for basically the good portion of the third period. You know, luckily for me, I kind of woke up and was like, what am I doing? Like, this is playoffs, let's watch it. And I sort of got back up and started watching it around the 4-minute mark.
I did my best to remain calm. I know what Vancouver is capable of. When there's an empty net, you have 6 high-end players on the ice.
Shilovs takes off, extra attacker is off. Lindholm, across, Besser scores!
Instantly your eyes light up. You know, I'm not gonna get too excited now, but that's massive. But then you see Sissons have a breakaway on an empty net and you're just kind of like, man. Heading back to Vancouver tied at 2 was not ideal at all.
And the Predators win. It is win number 100.
But I mean, that was just an insane end to the game, you know. Colton Sissons hits the post.
That was their chance, and they completely squandered it. Do not ever think we're out of this. But they left it pretty damn late in the game.
Quinn Hughes makes an absolutely unbelievable play to keep the puck in.
Honestly, the emotional high that I got from seeing that Besser goal was like insane. Going into overtime,
there's no way we're losing this game now.
I didn't think we were going to lose that game. No. They came out in overtime with a mission to get it done early, and they executed on that.
Joshua in the corner, lets it go for Garland. Centers, Elias Demko.
I couldn't believe that we had made the comeback. Like it didn't feel real.
One of my fondest memories as a Canucks fan, for sure.
Honestly, the emotional high that I got like from seeing that Besser goal was like insane. Like just seeing him pull it back around, sort of make the slight stutter mistake, and then have to then readjust, find a way to put the puck in the net. It's like that's why he was Vancouver's #1 goal scorer. I'm a huge Besser fan. He's been my guy since his rookie season. Like
just take it out of your mouth before you talk. Like
says you, bro.
GTS corner.
close out a playoff series on home ice.
Puck is loose underneath Sheila. He cut down, now it's in. It was loose, and the Predators do cash.
Carey to score. Carey with the shot. Predators get the goal to go ahead. 2-1.
The Predators have turned it around in the third period. The Predators have survived Game 5, and they're heading back to Nashville.
Game 6 was in their barn. You don't want to come home to a Game 7 after taking a big lead in the series and blowing it.
The Predators are rallying between Forsberg and Gus Nyquist. And we are underway in game number 6.
That was one of the most intense games I think I've ever watched.
Forsberg shoots. Shelov's the save. Carson and puck is center. Wonderful left hand save.
Shelov's down with that left hand.
It was definitely intense. It was low event.
You know, every chance that either team had, you're having absolute heart attacks.
Miller, here's Hughes shooting. Stop by Sir. Loose puck. And Soros can't cover. Second period. Besser. Stop by Soros.
Pius Suter, who had a really good game in Game 6.
Miller, he's got Suter going to let no shoot. Suter. What a save by Soros. Suter. Stop by Soros in the right hand.
Tell Suter again, I swear to God. That guy has like 20 goals chances already.
Shooter checked before he could pull the trigger. Henderson sidesteps his man, puts the puck behind that.
On his 5th shot of the game, gets the 1-0 goal.
That's a center Shooter. He's Shooter with a minute 39 to go.
Although it didn't seem like much, man, that minute 40 or however long it was, it felt like an eternity. I was just an absolute wreck watching that.
It was like, if Nashville scores here, we're going to lose the series.
All-Canadian matchup, one national anthem,
This is hockey, baby.
the Western Canada rivalry.
This is the playoffs.
How could you not love it?
259 years ago, Benjamin Franklin discovered electricity. Been easier for you to come here.
My dad had tickets to the game, so I was like, this better be a show.
The game didn't really start off the best at all.
It's 2-1, that's 3-1, that's 4-1, and it is silent.
I thought the series was over. I was like, it's been a great year.
It's the first game of the series. You got to put up more of a fight than this.
Losing Game 1 on home ice by significant margin would have been a major kick in the balls.
If we want a chance, we need to get at least one before this period ends. Suddenly, the towels are waving again.
And then JT Miller scores to cut the lead to 1.
The game is back.
And I think by then everybody knew what was about to happen.
There's no way we don't tie this up right now.
So they had all the momentum after that 4th. Everybody's absolutely buzzing.
What felt like right after, Garland comes streaking in, and you're thinking, no way.
the place erupted. I had a tray full of popcorn. I jumped up and down. I spilled about 7 bags.
If you watch the highlight reel, you can see me in the corner. Just any professionalism completely goes out of the window.
Something special about the Canucks team this year, about just finding ways to win games.
And I distinctly remember coming out of that game and everyone in the concourse was screaming.
And I think, you know, when I look back at any sort of sporting memory I have, that might be one of the most amazing things I've ever witnessed.
That was definitely a special game.
Now, heading into Game 2, obviously there's a little bit of nerves, but I am so excited. It seemed like we were on the same path as we were in Game 1. But the McDavid and Draisaitl show just completely took over. You know, we somehow held on for overtime.
There wasn't a good feeling in the building during that overtime. Just kind of felt like Edmonton was going to get that one.
Edmonton had the zone, which is scary. And Bouchard just sort of threw a shot on net.
Bouchard moving in. Went off a Canucks stick.
And my heart dropped.
It's in the back of the net and game's over.
It was a real gut wrencher because I thought we were going to find a way to win that game.
And just like that, you go from on top of the world to heading back to one of the most intimidating buildings in the league with a tied series.
It's one of the biggest stages for a professional athlete.
The Oilers have momentum, the Canucks have resilience. So underway, here's Game 3.
You know, Game 3 starts off with us going down 1-0. Felt like in a blink of an eye we scored 3 quick ones and Edmonton was suddenly on the ropes. Artur Shilov's was absolutely incredible.
That was impressive. His ability to handle an environment like that at that age, with that little experience.
Skinner gets pulled and you're like, wow, Edmonton is really on the ropes right now.
So Carson Soucy's been suspended 1 game.
That's too bad because he's a massive part of our blue line. That was an important game for them to win.
They were completely on the ropes.
They don't want to go down 3-1.
What's in store in Game 4?
Unfortunately, we just came out flat in Game 4. but then we cut the lead to 1. Heading into the last little bit, we pull the goalie. And wouldn't you know it, Brock Besser throws it in front. We got a tie game out of absolutely nothing.
I felt spoiled that they had tied the game. It didn't feel real. After all these comebacks they've had so far in the playoffs, they're gonna do it again. So I was kind of riding this high.
And you're just prepared for overtime. You know, you're not even really thinking of the fact that there's still over a minute to go in regulation.
And then suddenly, it's 3-2 Edmonton.
That was a tough blow.
Honestly, it was hard to collect my thoughts in that moment.
I don't think that I've let out a bigger sigh in my life.
Heading to Vancouver with a tied series, you're really nervous because you know how pivotal Game 5 is.
I was nervous.
Whoever scores first, that's going to be an absolute game changer.
I'm like, this is an excellent way to start off a game.
When Edmonton score and it's Evander Kane,
who had been like invisible all series long.
Just the gut punch of all gut punches.
Not too long later, Soucy has a snipe. Fresh off the suspension, the place went wild because no Canucks fan thought that Soucy should have been suspended. 5 seconds later, the Oilers go down and Connor Brown sends a cross-crease pass to one of the ugliest guys in the league. Sorry, Janmark, if you see this. And it's a 2-1 game, and I was furious.
Things weren't going Vancouver's way exactly in that game.
You know, I'm kind of waiting for a repeat of Game 4.
One little mistake behind the net.
I think he just had his kid like the day before. With the dad power, he scores an absolutely gross goal.
And after that, it was an all-out war.
The game went without score for quite a while.
You just knew it was going to end on a great play from a great player.
There's about 40 seconds left. Pedersen with a beautiful hand-eye play.
Pedersen tipped it free for Lindholm.
Lindholm just throws it at the net, hits Pedersen's skate, and Johnny on the spot.
Place goes crazy.
We stopped at a red light at Grandview and Boundary. I hear that Miller scored. I was super happy on the rest of that drive for sure.
And we're one win away from the conference final. I was over the moon.
And that was the longest night I was at work for because nobody left the arena. And then we go back to Edmonton after that and play the ugliest game of hockey I've ever seen. We all had gone to the Sunshine Coast on a trip. Everyone packed a hockey jersey. We are absolutely fired up about this game.
It's do or die for Edmonton. They can't lose that game. When you have McDavid and Draisaitl with that mentality, floodgates are going to open up.
And it kind of was just a slow, painful death from the start.
Nobody was really able to get into the game.
It's a pretty anticlimactic game for a little bit, and just about everybody falls asleep. And we wake up and it's 4-1 with like 6 minutes left in the game. That was a forgettable game.
And we're heading back to Vancouver for Game 7.
And then on top of that, hearing the Besser news.
That was tough news after just a horrible loss, because we had played with Edmonton all the way through that series.
As unfortunate as it was just the final nail in the coffin.
So I'm in a little bit of pain this morning. Brock Besser is going to miss Game 7 for Vancouver tonight.
Besser is out for Game 7 for the Canucks. It's a blood clot issue.
There wasn't a good feeling in the building.
I was nervous.
I think it's fair for Vancouver fans to be nervous before a Game 7. You know, there isn't a long list of good Game 7s from Vancouver.
City of Vancouver, the province of British Columbia, is on the edge of its seat, and the puck hasn't even dropped.
And I was ready to go. It's Game 7.
This has been such a great run, but there's a chance that this is all going to be over by the end of today. Shilov's early in the game was playing out of his mind. All of a sudden, Mikheyev gets a chance in front.
I'll shoot you back!
And he squandered it.
If he pots that, you know, we're up 1-0. Get the arenas into it.
In the moment, I'm not really worried or anything. And I really forgot about it when we get 4-minute power play. This could be the moment that completely turns everything around. What followed on the power play was sort of what drained any bit of energy we could have ever had. Yeah, whatever, we'll get it back. But early into the second, your worst nightmares kind of come true.
Comes back to Kulak, across for CC, loads of fire, scores! Cody CC has opened the scoring in Game 7. Just got it. Here's Bouchard. Let it fly! Scores! Evan Bouchard! The Oilers have back-to-back goals. Takes a six. Bouchard fires wide.
To be honest, the season felt the most over when it was 3-0.
And Edmonton has a 3-goal lead.
Well, that was the dagger. Nugent Hopkins, hometown kid. Yeah, so they're down 3-0. It's a tough mountain to climb.
You're not really wanting to think about it, but as the time ticks down, you are thinking about it.
But end of the game, Canucks once again found a way to battle back.
And then it's Connor Garland, the Energizer, the guy who's dragged us into the fight all year.
It's a team that doesn't quit.
We don't give up ever. Never give up mentality.
You're there like, this is happening now.
There was definitely some hope.
Something special about the Canucks team this year.
It shows what we're trying to build here. We didn't give up.
There was no quit. Made a huge push there. Really proud.
Just love this. I love the team, man.
Edmonton just shut it down. Simple as that.
because of the way that we battled back, there was never like a season's over moment until the final buzzer went.
The harsh truth just settled in. It's over.
Didn't play the 60-minute game they had been all year. Edmonton's players were just better. They climbed back, which they have before. And so that was impressive, but it was too late in the end, and it was a tough end of the year for sure.
Now I guess, the final question is, from your experience as a Canucks fan for as long as you've been a Canucks fan, where did that season rank in terms of what you've been able to witness during your lifetime?
Well, I don't remember much from the 2011 run, but this season was one for sure.
It's definitely number one, without a doubt. Such an exciting group, so much to look forward to.
This year was an absolute shock because I was expecting another year of mediocrity from the team.
In sixth place, I have Vancouver Canucks. I know some people are higher on them than I am. I'm not.
I think they're going to end up in sixth, which means they're not going to be a playoff team.
I think that they're going to fight for a wild card, but I just think that the division's too strong.
They're going to be battling at the end. I don't think they're going to get in.
Gee, does your boy make the playoffs this year or what?
No shot.
You got the Quinn Hughes Norris Trophy season, Rick Tocchet, Jack Adams season, the Canucks win the division.
Brought a lot of pride to the city. There were flags on cars, flags being hung off the cranes at construction sites. There were people walking around with jerseys on. I never felt so together with every other person in the city than that playoff run. It had been so long since there were playoffs in Vancouver, and it was just about everywhere you looked, there's a Canucks logo somewhere. I think the city of Vancouver is excited to get behind that team again next year.